Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and if you know me and you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I like to work smarter, not harder. I am always looking for things in my art that can make things more efficient. You've probably seen my videos about the laser level or about the eraser shield. I've got all sorts of different hacks and tools and tricks that I use in my lettering to make things as easy as possible. And this time is no different. I'm coming at you with a tutorial about the Cricut Brightpad Go, which is essentially a light box, but this is not just a normal light box. This is like a step above the rest, and I'm excited to tell you all about it. Cricut asked if they could send me this Brightpad to try out, and they want to send one as a giveaway to one of the members of my audience, which stay tuned to the end of the video for that. But as soon as they explained to me what this was and I realized it was going to be such a step up from my current light pad, the answer was obviously yes. So I've got it here. I'm going to unbox it and show you what it's all about, and then I'm going to show you how I use it to make my lettering and calligraphy jobs so much faster. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you all about how you can enter to win one for yourself. Let's jump right in. All right, so basically a light pad is typically used for tracing, but increasingly people are using it for weeding their vinyl from their Cricut products too. So that's what you see on the cover here. It kind of lights up all the spots that you need to weed through, which would make things so much easier. But I generally use this for the tracing part. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I personally use it in my work, but I'll just unbox it first and show you the actual product. So again, it's called the Cricut Brightpad Go, and you can get it on their website. I looked and it's $139.99 Canadian, which, guys, light pads aren't super cheap, but I can tell you that they make your life a million times easier, and it's worth every penny. So on the box, it says Cordless LED light pad, which when they sent it to me, I didn't realize it was cordless, and I am so jazzed about it being cordless. I'll talk about that more in a second. But then on the back of the box, it shows essentially what it looks like, and then it talks about how it's cordless. It gives you less eye strain, and there's 5 brightness settings, which again, I'll touch on in a second when I open it up. So this is what it looks like, and I can tell you right away, I am floored by how thin it is. It's hard to show you in the video, but I can tell you that when I compare this to my old light pad, this is, I am not kidding, 4 times thinner and 4 times lighter. It's so light and so thin, which is like a major step up for me, because the other one I had, I'm not kidding, was probably this thick, and it weighed, I don't know, 3 or 4 times as much as this one. And then back behind it, you have the little start here guide, which basically just tells you how to plug it in, how to adjust the settings, which I'll show you. And then back here is the charger cord. So yeah, like I said, the charger, having a charger and having this be cordless is by far the part I'm most excited about, because I literally always, when I have the opportunity, I want to work on my couch. I'm one of those people who would set up a whole art studio at my coffee table just so I can watch TV while I'm working if I could. But I gotta tell you, with my old light box, the cord is like this long, and every time I go to set up on the couch, I have to go and find an extension cord and pull it out from behind my couch and set up a whole station, and it drives me crazy. And because I'm pretty lazy, I mean, we're talking about working smarter, not harder, I end up just staying at my desk because it's too much work for me to set it up. So I am so excited that I have this one, and I can finally just take it to the couch with me, not even have to plug it in, and just use it right away. So yeah, the cordless aspect is amazing, but then the other thing that I'm super excited about is that this has 5 levels of brightness. So if I turn it on, first of all, let's note, this is not plugged in. This is just straight out of the box and it's working. Turn it on, and then there's 5 levels of brightness. So I can turn it up and down based on how bright I need it for my project, which I think I've talked about this on the channel before, but I get really bad migraines, and most of the time it's caused by lighting and eye strain, which the lights that are facing me right now, if only you could see, but I usually get migraines after days where I'm filming. And so if I can cut down on eye strain and on bright lights, it's amazing. And my old Brightpad is 1 setting. It's like 0 or 100, and it gives me a headache every single time. So this I'm really excited about, that I can just adjust it to what I need at the time. And then the last thing that I noticed that right away I like better about this one is that it's a plastic top, not a glass top. So my old Brightpad is a glass top and it's really, really hard. And so when I write on it, I actually feel like I want to put another piece of paper underneath so it's a little bit padded. Like if you're a calligrapher, you know what I'm talking about. It's not that nice working on like a super, super hard surface. But then that defeats the purpose if I'm putting a bunch of paper underneath because it's a light pad and you're supposed to be able to trace through it, so it doesn't work. This one is a little bit more plasticky and it's just such a nicer surface to write on. The other thing too is the one that I have that's glass, I have to keep it in like a special pouch and I have to be very careful with it and I can't slam it down. Not that I would slam this down, but I have to be very careful and I'm really careful not to scratch it. This one I feel like I can probably beat up a little bit more and it's gonna last me longer and not be so scary to use. So long story short, all of this makes this one so much more convenient for me, which is awesome. But I do want to show you guys the two main things I do with this Brightpad because like I said, I always like to show you my hacks for working smarter, not harder, and this is no exception. So with this, my favorite thing to do are envelopes and place cards, among a lot of other things. The Brightpad can be used for so much stuff, but specifically for these, I really like it because envelopes and place cards are generally things that are too thick. The paper is too thick to have just like a normal guideline underneath, and so you need to trace. But the other thing is a lot of the time they don't come with very many. So if a client sends me a stack of envelopes or a stack of place cards, I only have so many options to use as mess ups. And if I mess up more than that, I run out of my extras. So it's like a high pressure situation to be doing these envelopes and place cards and you don't want to screw them up. So that's where the Brightpad comes in for me. So what I do, instead of having a blank envelope and using a pencil and doing my guidelines on here and then having to erase it all after I do the ink, what I do instead is I write my things on a piece of paper. So this is just Rhodia graph paper and I do it in pencil and I perfect it until I'm good enough here. So I perfected my J and I played around with the shape of my L and I centered my address and I did everything on the Rhodia paper. And then I just put my envelope over top and turn on the Brightpad and I can see right through it and then I can place it wherever I need to and just go right onto it with my brush pen or my pointed pen or whatever I'm using at the time. So using the Brightpad makes it so much easier for me to avoid mistakes and I can just really easily trace through what I did in pencil and I know that I'm not going to have to go over and erase any of my pencil marks in behind the envelope. So there's an example of how I would do this on an envelope. And like I said, now I don't have any pencil marks to erase. Everything's perfect. And I can just repeat this over and over again, doing the pencil on my guide sheets and transferring it right onto my envelopes. Then I would do the exact same thing for place cards. So if this is what I wanted for my place card, I can just put it down, center my name wherever I want it, and trace right over. This makes it so much faster because you don't have to, again, put any guide sheets on or guidelines on, and you can make sure that your spelling's right. I've screwed up names so many times on place cards and run out of the number of place cards that the client gave me. So I just love being able to do a rough copy on a different piece of paper and then transfer it right onto my place card. So those are just two examples of the most common things I do with a Brightpad, but honestly, with almost every calligraphy project, I use a guide sheet and I just want to put a thicker piece of paper over top that doesn't have guides on it, and the Brightpad makes it so easy to do that. And then of course you can adjust the brightness depending on how much you need to see through the paper, how thick the paper is. If it's really thick, you can turn it all the way up, and if it's a thinner paper, you can turn it down if you don't really need to see through it that strongly. Long story short, this all just makes it easier for me to work in front of the TV, and isn't that the dream? Isn't that what everybody wants? At least it's what I want. So yeah, that's my review and demo of the Cricut Brightpad Go. And like I said, they're gonna give one away. So here's what you gotta do if you wanna enter to win your Cricut Brightpad Go. Number 1, like this video. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Number 3, go over to Instagram and make sure you're following at Cricut_CA on Instagram and at the Happy Ever Crafter. And then number 4, leave your Instagram handle in the comments down below. I'm gonna do the draw exactly 1 week after this video airs, and I will notify the winner in the comments down below. For now, I'm gonna link you to another video that I think you're gonna enjoy. And again, all the links to the Cricut Brightpad Go and all the things I've talked about today are always gonna be down below in the description if you wanna grab one for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.